All right.
We are through
We're through T-minus 40.
We are counting down. We're going to let our flight director,
Ty Huntington, back in the seat.
Batura take us the rest of the way. 30 seconds, the 10th liftoff of Starship.
T-minus 15. T-minus 10.
T-minus 10.
9.
9.
8.
8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Booster chamber pressure nominal.
Booster and ship nominal.
A little over 40 seconds into flight. 33 out of 33
avionics power and telemetry nominal.
We're still getting the rattle here at Start Factory.
Getting good call outs, healthy
33
systems
out of 33
on the booster
Raptor
as it
engines
starts to
lit
pitch
on
over
Super
the
Heavy
Gulf.
as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through Max Q.
Max Q.
Max Q.
So at this point, we've passed through
so
that
we are
period
through
of
the
maximum aerodynamic pressure.
max
The next
stress
thing
on
we're
the
looking
vehicle
forward
as it
to
continues to
is going to
fly.
be hot staging.
Our
So
next major event
we've got
is going
33
to be
to
hot
33
staging, which
Raptors
is
lit. Super
happening
Heavy
just
makes
over
its
90
way
seconds from
uphill.
now. To get
Hot
ready,
staging
the
is
booster
going
will
to be
shut
coming
down
up
all but 3 of its
in
Raptor
just a
engines.
little over a minute.
The clamps holding the
At
2
that
stages
point,
together
we're going
will release,
to see
and the Starship second stage ignites its
all
engines.
but 3
The
of those
ship then
Raptor engines
separates from
on
the
Super Heavy shut
booster
down.
and
Our
heads to
version of
space.
MECO.
At the same time,
most
the 3
engines
engines
cut
still
off instead
firing
of
on
main
Super
engine.
Heavy will flip the booster around. 10 more engines will ignite for the boost
And then
back
after
burn,
that,
putting
we're going to
first
release the
stage on
clamps that are
path for
currently
splashdown in
holding
the Gulf.
Starship to that
As we
hot
mentioned
stage
earlier,
adapter.
the hot
It's
stage
then
will be
going to
jettisoned
ignite
for this
its
flight,
6
and that
Raptor
should occur
engines
just
to
after
push
the
it
boost
away
back
from
burn.
Super Heavy
So
and then
we're
start
about to
making
shut
its
down
flight
the
uphill.
first stage and perform hot staging.
So in about
let's just
30
watch and
seconds,
listen.
we're going to see the engine start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors. All right. MECO coming up in about 10 seconds.
All right, seeing the engine start to throttle down.
See the engines throttling down.
Booster ready to go.
Ship ignition. Boost back burn startup.
Stage separation.
Stage separation.
Boost back burn startup.
Stage separation confirmed. We've got 6 engines running on ship.
All right, successful hot
Booster
staging
is doing
maneuver.
its boost
So
back
we've got
burn,
12 of the
continuing
13
now
engines lit back
towards
up on
its
booster, so it's
splashdown
doing its
site
boost
in the
back.
Gulf.
Real
Should we see all 6
excitingly,
Raptors
though,
lit
we've
across
got
the
6
hill?
out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is
heard them
happening. We're
report
using
ship
those
chamber
13
pressures nominal,
engines.
so that chamber
so
pressure,
everything,
just that expected
12 out
thrust
of the
level
13,
in those
and then we
Raptor
go down to 3,
engines
and then we're
on
going to
the
shut
ship.
down for
3
the end of
vacuum
boost back.
optimized,
That's
3
sending
sea
Super
level,
Heavy
all looking
back
good.
towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final
There's
time
a view into the business end from the ship.
that we're doing this. Is all right, there's the end of the boost back burn. You should be seeing the hot stage. There.
All right, so at this point, we finished our boost back burn, so that was shut
So
down.
the hot stage
that's
separates. It's going to make
the
its way
first
down,
of the
also
2
splash
burns
down
after
in
a
the
launch
Gulf.
that the booster's going to do today.
In the meantime,
so
though, these 6 ship
headed
Raptors
towards
are
the
going
Gulf.
to continue fire.
It's not going to be quite
firing
as
for
an
about
aggressive of a
5
flight
more
down. We
minutes.
relax that angle of attack a little bit. But we are then going to be looking for it
Next
to
up
do
for the booster, though,
its
is going to be
engine
its
for the
landing
landing burn.
There's a
And
cool
those are gonna be a
tracking
little
shot.
unique this
We
time.
dump some of the prop
Yeah,
out on
typically
our way
we start
back
with
in.
all 13 center inner engines lit for that landing burn and bring
All
that
right, so
down
for
to
booster,
just the center
this is
three.
one of the
But one
main
of our
things
test
we're
objectives
trying
for
to
today
get
is
is
to
going to be this
simulate what
landing
an
burn.
engine out situation would look like.
So you can see
so
the
we're going
hot
to be
stage
intentionally turning
kind
off
of
one of the
making
center
its
three
way
and
towards the
instead lighting
very
one of
the
the
left
engines
side, so
from the
that's the
middle
bottom
10
of the
ring.
booster. It's about to
Yeah,
pass
we
right
did
in
see
front
one
of
of
where you
those
can see
engines
some
in
of
the
that
middle
prop
ring
dump happening.
shut down during the initial ascent. Oh,
They
looks
look like
we
they're
have hot
close
stage
together,
jettison. You
but
can
there's
see
a
it
good amount of distance
floating
between
away
them.
there
And the hot stage
the
will
left of the
go down
booster.
and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing
Yeah, we did
burn.
see one of those middle engines shut down during the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine out on Super
Starship
Heavy.
is on nominal
We're able to get
trajectory.
through our ascent.
All right. Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything.
Starship
Jake and Amanda, you
flying
guys
on
with
the
me down there?
expected path.
Yeah, definitely. The crowd
There's
is,
still a
is
chance that
gathering
engine
over
could
here
be
in the
back in the
office.
mix
You can
for the
definitely feel the energy
very
in
start
here.
of the landing burn. So
Great
we'll
to
see
see
if we
that
light up
booster
all
is making
13.
its way down to the
But
splashdown zone.
I mean, we've
in the
even done a
Gulf.
landing burn at the tower with
Yeah,
an
the
engine
shaking
out,
down
so
here was absolutely
very
nuts. The
resilient. We'll
windows are
see
still
how
there,
it
still
does
intact.
on its way down to the Gulf.
That was
though.
pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers, about.
All right, so we got a couple of
All right,
minutes.
yeah, and
that
as we
landing
approach
burn start
that landing, just like tower
just
catches, we
about
will be
40
doing a
seconds away.
13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration.
That's always rad. You can see the
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the
See the
booster
boost
is using
plume
4
itself in the
hypersonic grid
background as
fins
it
to
was
guide
coming
itself
in.
through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20
about 20
seconds away
seconds to landing burn.
from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13
Ship
engines,
Raptor chamber
then bring
pressure's
that down
nominal.
to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200
All right,
meters
here
in
we
the
go.
air. So booster is
Landing burn
going to see
start.
a bit of a harder thing.
Booster landing burn startup.
Looks like we got 12 of those 13.
Down to 3, including one of the middle ring.
Booster landing burn shut down.
Down to 2.
And there we heard it. Booster landing
nice
burn
little
shut
hover.
down. We saw a
And landing burn
13 to
shut
5 to 3 V3 demonstration.
And
into the water
Gulf.
we go.
Here we come.
Wow, that was absolutely
And the booster
awesome.
has splashed out.
If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole
Incredible
SpaceX
for
team.
Booster today.
So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
Meanwhile, back in space.
All right,
About
great
7 minutes
stuff,
into
guys.
today's flight, ship
I'm
continuing
jealous of the
its
crowd. All
ascent
right,
burn.
back to ship. Ship's
This
still
goes
making its
until
way.
just
We've got
about
a little
9
under
minutes into
2
our flight.
minutes
That
left
ship engine cut
in
off
this ascent burn.
is
So we've
slated
got
for 8
all
minutes
6
and
Raptor
57
engines still firing.
seconds. We are going to see those 3 RVAC, the
So
Raptor
the next
vacuum
major
engines, those are the
milestone we're
bigger
going to be looking
circles,
for
and that
is SECO.
little indicator on
That's
the
our
bottom
second
right of your
stage
screen.
engine
Those will
cut
shut down
off. That's
first. And we
should be
continue
coming
burning for a
right
couple
at
seconds
about 8
longer
minutes
on
and
those
58
inner
seconds
3
into flight, so
before
we've got
we
about
hit
a minute
SECO
20 still to
second
go.
engine cut off.
Really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn.
Yeah,
That
these
was
views are
one of
looking
our
great.
like
Once
really
again, thanks to
key
Starlink
demonstrations
for
we
getting
wanted
us
to
these
try and do
views.
today.
It's just
Is
incredible.
that's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom. Sounds like
just
from the
heard the
booster,
sound from the
coming
booster.
back.
It's like we just got a
All right, less than a minute to go.
A late
So we are going to
boom
see
from the booster.
the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until SECO. Just a reminder,
we
this
have
is
ship engine
putting us
cutoff
into a
coming up here
suborbital
just shortly.
trajectory, so we're
And as we
intentionally
mentioned,
just
today's flight test
going
is not an
slow
orbital
enough
flight,
that
but
we're
rather
not going
one
to
that
achieve full orbit.
demonstrates
This puts
Starship's
us on a
orbital
course
capability.
where
Starship
those
is on
engines
terminal
shut
guidance.
off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship
our
is in
landing
terminal
zone.
guidance.
All right, entering the final
In the
phase
Indian
of
Ocean.
this
All right,
burn.
terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns
Under
come up
30
in
seconds
just a
to
couple
go.
seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go in this ship ascent burn. All right, our
All right,
vacs
shut
have
down
shut
the
off.
vacuum engines.
3 more to go.
Ship engine cut off.
We shut down those center 3. Successful ship engine cutoff.
Seco, baby. There we go. That's what
All
we
right.
want.
All ship
Nominal orbit
Raptors
insertion.
have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
All right, we just heard the call out for
You
nominal
just heard
orbital
nominal orbital
insertion.
insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot
right,
planned
so
for
ship
it, lots
is
more
in
still to come.
space.
Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the
we go.
water, but I'm
Seeing the
excited to
flaps
see what ship
starting
can do in space.
To move into
How's
a
everybody
stowed
doing down there?
position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
Yeah, exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard
Yeah,
work
if you
in
can hear
action
the
here
crowd
today.
behind us this whole
And
time,
of course,
people
as
are
guaranteed,
definitely
it's
happy
been
with
an
how the day's
exciting
been
day
panning
so
out so
far.
far.
We
Definitely
successfully
exciting to see
lifted
Starship
off
safely
right
in
on
space,
time at 6:30
and super pumped
p.m.
to see all the
Central
team's
Time.
hard work in action here
Thankfully,
today.
our weather was looking
Yeah,
good
and we
today.
guaranteed it at the start of the show,
yeah,
but
and,
it has
and
been an
Booster,
awesome day
we had
so
our
far.
soft
It's
splashdown
crazy.
in
All
the
this has
Gulf,
happened in just
so
10 minutes.
ship continues
All
on.
the objectives were met on
Yeah,
the
ship
booster,
able to
including
complete
that
its
V3
ascent
style landing
burn all the
so
way
now
in.
all eyes are
You
on
can
the
see
ship
some of the
as we get
shadows
ready
start to
for our
creep as it's going to
in-space
be eventually
objectives.
flying into
But we've got
an
a few
orbital
minutes until that next
nighttime,
milestone,
so
so
we'll see
sit tight,
some
enjoy the
daylight
views,
start
enjoy
to
the
go
space
away.
jams. We'll be back
But
at
ship
T plus
is in orbit,
16 minutes
completed
for
its
payload
burn,
deploy.
and I mean that's just the beginning. Now we've got a whole bunch more to go. So we've got some exciting demonstrations
Ship
planned
FPS is
while
safe.
we're on orbit. That right there, we just saved the FTS, the flight termination system. That's that automatic flight safety system we have on the vehicle. So that is now turned off while ship starts its coast period. We are coming up. Our next milestone is going to be the deployment of those Starlink simulators. We've got some payload inside of Starship that we're hoping to deploy into space for the very first time. That deploy is supposed to start at about 18 minutes and 27 seconds into the flight, so just about 7 minutes from now. That deploy will take place over a couple of minutes. It'll go about one satellite a minute, so we'll be spread out over that. It might get a little dark, but we've got a couple of views that we can show you to see that deploy in action. After that, we're also looking to do a relight of a single Raptor engine while we are in space. We've done this once before. This is not necessary to deorbit as we are in a suborbital trajectory, but this is essentially a chance to test out what we need to be able to do a deorbit burn. So we'll be doing that a little bit later in the flight, about 37 minutes or so into the flight, and then we get into re-entry. We're looking to get that light show and, more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's heat shield.
Yeah, exactly. At about T plus 45 minutes, we'll be heading for re-entry. Again, running those experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing missing tiles, metallic tiles, and also intentionally loading those vehicles' flaps. Hopefully we'll also see a splashdown in the Indian Ocean today.
Yeah, we were able to get to a re-entry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control, so we weren't able to go in, heat shield first the way we're designed to. So we ended up losing contact with the ship before we could make it all the way through. So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data that we want to make sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. As Amanda just said, we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle because we're really looking, are there spots that were vulnerable to this before we ever start moving towards, putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do re-entries a little bit later on. So really, really critical to get that data, really looking forward to a controlled re-entry.
Yeah, for sure. As we always say, our main payload is data. But today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators that Starship will be deploying, we'll see coming up here in just a few minutes. These are dummy satellites that are about the same size as our V3 Starlinks. We have 8 in the Starship HES dispenser and expect to deploy at a rate of about 1 per minute, as Dan mentioned earlier. Starlink is critical in all of our flights on Starship to get our main payload data, as we always say. And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing these views you see as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of flight.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of the Starship payload bay there for a second. So there's 8 of them. They kind of look just big steel plates, essentially. They're roughly the same size as those V3 satellites. When we do get that view inside of the payload bay, the payload door will kind of be on your right, and we'll start to see them go out like a Pez dispenser. Yeah, here's a look inside. So those right down there in the center, they're kind of 2 stacks of 4 on either side, and then the payload door is just to their right. And so we'll look to see that open, and then those satellites start to go. We vent the nose cone, so we essentially bring it down to vacuum before we open the door. That was one of the things we ran into on the last flight, as when we had that fuel diffuser fail, the pressure in the nose cone became basically too high for the actuator of the door to open. So that's why we weren't able to get the door open that time. We have not seen anything like that on this flight. Everything's looking good with our fuel tank and our fuel press system. So we are hopefully just a couple of minutes away from seeing that payload door open and getting to our first ever payload. It's not the first payload we've ever carried, but it's the first one we're going to try and shoot off into space. All right, so I think we're supposed to open the payload door in just about a minute and change. And you're seeing a little bit of residual gas. And we opened the door once. I want to say it was back on flight 3 when we were able to make it up into space. And you'll kind of see a lot of that gas rushing out into the vacuum of space. It's the residual that's left over after we've already vented it down. So kind of a cool light show. And then we'll get ready to deploy those payloads out.
All right, welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open. That should be happening, or at least starting within the next minute or so.
As we mentioned,
it's
we
been
have
a really cool flight so far.
Now at this point into an orbital nighttime.
The payload.
So
We've got
the outside
Starlink simulators getting ready
dark,
to make their way into outer space.
We'll see what we can see. We do this by design.
Great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to
later
its
in the day here
splashdown
in
and landing burn experiment. So that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right in the money with its trajectory. Now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10. Oop. Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already. All right, looks like we got the door open.
We are currently in payload deploy prep. And the door is open.
All right, so payload door is open. Next up, going to be to start deploying these Starlink simulators.
All right, so the payload door is open. We should
They are
see the
roughly the same size as
to deploy.
the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying.
18 minutes and 27
It's going to add
seconds,
some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit.
One step
we were able
closer.
to do this for the very first time ever
he opened
on
the
our
payload
last
door
flight.
for us.
So this will be another test. We made a
There's
couple
a
of
view
tweaks
kind of behind
to the
Pez.
rails
You're looking
for
out
deploying
into
this
the
based off
vacuum
of what we saw
space.
last time. But excited to see these get out the
About
door.
15 seconds
Our
until
next
payload deploy.
iteration of Starship's also going to have kind of a more powerful Pez. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but looking to see our next demonstration of this hopefully in the next couple of seconds. We should start seeing them move out the door.
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
There we go.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right, first one going out.
Pew pew.
All right, first one's deployed.
Been waiting way
Getting
too
ready
long
for
to
the
do that.
second
There
one
we
here.
go.
We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
There goes another one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those
Super
rails.
excited about
If
this. You can hear the
watched
energy in
last
both
one,
Hawthorne and
it had a couple of
Starbase.
bumps on the way
We're
out,
super
but
excited for
moving out
finally
super clean
getting
this
to
time.
deploy some of those simulated
Yeah, and
satellites.
as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating,
There's
Starship
system
will
moving
deploy
down.
Starlink's more
Next
advanced
row.
V3 satellites,
go.
adding 60 terabits per
As we
second
said, we're
of
going to
capacity
do
to
about
the network per
one
launch.
every minute
so
or
that's
so.
20 times more
And
than
this
each
is,
Falcon 9
this is
launch
just
does
kind of a
today.
dress
Just
rehearsal
incredible.
for when we're going to be deploying the V3 satellites, and these are just a massive, massive increase to Starlink's capability.
Yeah, and anybody that's
Each one of them
been following
has,
Starship, you
it's
know, Starlink's
60
kind of
terabits per second.
the
of
MVP for
capacity
these flight tests,
that's
where
going to get added
it's
to
not
the
only
network
giving us
per
the
launch.
views we're
That's
seeing right
20
now,
times more,
but also
than what
just
we're
real-time
adding
data through
with
every phase
every
of flight.
single
So
Falcon 9
we've
launch
got a couple
today,
dozen
which,
cameras on Starship.
you know,
We've
step
also got
increase in
a bunch of
capability.
cameras
There goes
spread
another one.
across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one. And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots you see
All
here.
right, so as we said, we've
from
got 8 total
our great
that
team
we're going
down
to
here
go
at
through today. It's
Starbase,
about a minute for
all
each
connected.
one.
So
but
Starlink not only giving us cool views off the planet, but also on the
deploy.
planet, help bring everybody along for all these Starship flights. I think that's number 4. Somebody check my math. Yeah, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. He uses that to talk to the constellation. And through that, we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry, when normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that.
so we're
wide view.
about halfway through when we actually start launching the V3 Starlinks on Starship. We're going to be flying about 60 each time, so it'll be about an hour to get through a full stack. But again, it's just going to be a massive increase in the amount of bandwidth. It's going to enable, gigabit upload download for people with Starlink, anywhere on the
All right,
planet.
next one
And
out
for
the
us,
door.
Starlink is just a tremendous part of just the
There we
Starship
go.
flight test program.
Yeah, absolutely. Always getting us that data. And yeah, the amazing views we have on the vehicle today.
All right, yeah, Starlink
Yeah,
is the
views
world's
brought to you
largest
by
satellite
Starlink, of
constellation
us deploying
operating in
Starlink
low Earth
simulators
orbit to
before we
deliver
deploy
high-speed,
actual Starlinks.
low-latency broadband internet. This provides
How deep
internet
does it go?
access to
All right,
people
another one
around the
firing
world,
out.
many of who have never had connectivity before. Oh. Right. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets, with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop,
looking
Texas,
smooth
which is
today.
just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
All right, looks like we've got one left.
Almost there.
Yeah, there you go, one remaining. So 7 of the 8 have been deployed. One more to go. And then we will have completed
All right,
our first ever payload deploy
one more to
operation.
go.
Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory, they're going to burn up entirely on that same trajectory towards the Indian Ocean. So the last one has been deployed. Starlink simulator payload complete. Heck yeah, everybody.
All right, now with payload deploy
Starship
complete,
open.
Starship will now close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, now it's empty.
We still have a
Looking
ton
a
of
little
major
lonely,
events to come today,
but
including Raptor
Successfully
Relight at
deployed all
about
the
T plus
simulated
37
satellites.
minutes.
Really, really good to see them all out there. And again, people that have followed know Starlink's
that will be
really
followed by
critical
atmospheric reentry and
for the Starship
splashdown.
program. In addition to getting all those views back from the cameras on Starship.
So with that, we're going
this
to
is
go
an
on
external
another
view.
quick
As I
coast.
said, it's dark outside right now. The lights are off, so it's going to be hard to make stuff out. But in a little while, the sun's going to start coming up as we get to re-entry, which is going to be really critical. We use Starlink for Starship data. Cameras also use it on the cameras that we use to bring you views of these launches and also, hopefully, of the re-entry and splashdown. We'll see what we get from the Indian Ocean today. And that's just kind of how it all comes together. Like, we're using Starlink on the
All
planet,
right,
off
with
the
that
planet.
payload door
And
closed,
with
we're going to
Starship,
sit
we actually
tight,
get
enjoy the
pretty
views,
insane.
and enjoy the space
If
jams
you're
again.
in the space industry,
We'll
you
be
know
back in
bandwidth